Who are you?
My name is Jack Bauer. I'm a federal agent.
Over the course of 8 seasons, 24 has wowed its audience through the heroic acts of one man, Jack Bauer. Now, as the clock has run out on this revolutionary series, we take a look back at 24 and what made it tick.
I've always believed this, that the star of the show is the format of real time.
It really broke new ground. Like it's a really interesting way to have a story told to you, and it's definitely changed TV.
The thriller, when it's done well, is probably, for me, the most exciting genre because it involves action, it involves drama, and it involves suspense. All of those things combined are incredibly exciting to watch, and so the concept of 24 and actually following storylines in real time added a dramatic element to the concept of a thriller that I thought was really innovative, and it was something that I certainly wanted to try and be a part of. This is gonna hurt.
There's something addicting about it. The producers and writers and creators came upon a good concept, and they were really able to make it just sort of insightful and smart, and of course, like, fantastical in some ways.
I love that within the confines of a very complex time issue, they still make it exciting and they still make it believable. And the writers just outdo themselves every time, and they're maintaining such a high standard of writing and acting and directing and even surpassing it. So it's really exciting.
You understand what this means? We're talking about taking down the President of the United States.
I will do what's necessary to get the answers I need. You understand?
Maintaining the format, which is so difficult, which is each hour represents an hour in the course of a day. Each episode represents that hour. It was very difficult for the writers to do, but each year they've managed to take something not only from the headlines, but to also anticipate kind of the worst fears and the worst realities, and unfortunately some of those have come true. So it's made the show incredibly topical, and therefore I think very interesting to a wide audience.
I ran for office on the principle of non-negotiation with terrorists. How can I abandon that now, the very first time I'm tested?
Madam President, those are questions for the future. We have a decision to make now.
There are elements of 24 that are directly related with what we are dealing with today, Americans, the terrorist act here.
It was very timely. It came at a moment when we were challenging our ideas about politics, we were challenging our place in the world, and 24 really led that discussion, saying where we were in the world, and it changed the format of television. You know, anytime there's a breakthrough series that says TV isn't what you think it is, changes everything.
A good story. I think it's a good sort of thriller that I think everybody can join in on, you know, aside from it also being fighting against terrorism, which I think the whole world's experiencing right now.
Don't be screwing with me.
I'm not. I swear I'm not.
Who's the hitter?
I don't know his name. He's Russian or something.
Not good enough. Who is the hitter?
I think that the show fulfills a need that a lot of people have right now, especially Americans, but I think all over the world, that sort of feeling of unease and fear, and there's something about, I guess, wanting there to be a Jack Bauer out there somewhere, you know, looking out for us.
I have absolutely nothing to lose. You are not going to be able to hide behind the presidency. Right here, right now, you are going to face justice. And if you think for a second that I am scared to put a bullet in your brain, you don't know me.
The whole style of the piece was very advanced for that time. I mean, it was the first time they'd ever done anything like that. Of course, there have been a lot of changes based on that. It started a trend, lots of handheld work, and you know, it was almost like Bourne Identity before Bourne Identity, you know. But really it comes down to Jack Bauer. Jack Bauer was the excitement of the piece.
One of the things, though, that I've always loved personally about Jack Bauer as a character and as an actor, even though he does unbelievably heroic things and he is put into extreme circumstances that no single person should ever be put in.
How are you getting off the plane?
He's not always successful. I'm not, sweetheart.
You know, the thing that will really live on is the most compelling aspect of this story, which is this man's life and what happens. You know, there are these moments when Bauer decides to fight and protect instead of going to live his own life. And, you know, really what happens and what that sacrifice means and why he does that and what effect it has on him.
Jack, I know this is a bad time, but I need your help. My advisors are convinced that you can play an important part in this effort.
Mr. President, I'm sorry, but I'm in no condition.
Jack, listen to me. I know you suffered a loss. I know it's hard, but this is not a routine request.
I mean, that's what I relate to is what do we give up in order to do what we feel we have to do.
It's taken someone like Kiefer and it's turned him into this person that everyone loves. And Jack Bauer, people love Jack Bauer. I think that people honestly think that Jack Bauer is going to save the world.
He's just got that special something. I think a lot of other actors could have tried to do that and maybe not pull it off, and he just is believable and he's intense and he's got a great sense of like pacing and what feels right and what will work and how to really ride that line.
I really do think people will be making references to Jack Bauer, 10, 12 years down the road in politics and in everything. So that is pretty amazing,
Jack, you do understand when you hang up, for all intents and purposes, Jack Bauer's dead.
I understand that, sir.
What 24's managed to do is keep fans interested for every season because it's self-contained, which is a rarity, and it's something that hasn't been done before. So I think that in and of itself is a legacy for 24.
It was one of the first shows where it exploded on DVD more than television, in fact, which is different.
It was a brilliant decision on Fox's part to put it out. Because of the serialized nature of the show, they realized its syndication value was limited, and so they put out the DVD. And for that, I'm incredibly grateful because it's one of the reasons we got to do the show.
It's fun for people to be able to go back and try to figure out the clues, and it's a great show for watching on DVD.
This show came on, and I think a lot of people doubted it because you have to engage. You really have to think, and you really have to follow what's going on to watch this show. And I think everyone said, no, it's never going to happen. And, not just America, the world surprised the network and everybody who said it wouldn't ever work.
Wow, just iconic. There will never be anything else like it. It was such an original, amazing concept to begin with, and the fact that it was able to last 8 years, I don't think there'll ever be anything quite like it.
Come on! Shoot! It's like any great show. The legacy is that we just want to do better.
It shows an iconic production. I mean, this will live on forever. Everybody will remember 24.
Everybody fire! If you see something or you come across an idea like 24, you just hope that you serve it. And to have it turn out as successful as it has, I think you just feel a sense of relief because it was such a great idea. And your fear is to screw it up. So when that doesn't in fact happen and people do respond to it in such a fantastic fashion, you can only be grateful for that.